Welcome back to During Business Hours, everyone. A little bit something different today. Something that I rabbit holed that you may absolutely dislike or enjoy. But we're going to talk about the King of Pop today and a few other things. But I found some horrid information linking the P. Diddy case and the Michael Jackson case from 2009 across 15 years of time.
From what you showed me, you really went down the rabbit hole on this one.
Just this morning. And it's 2 p.m. Let's get it started. So I was on Twitter this morning because my Twitter got hacked. My old 15-year ago Twitter. And I really didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, this is a Twitter and the account is called True Love because, speaking truths, my name is Love. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, cool. I got old photos of old friends and, things like that. And I saw something to the boxer Ryan Garcia. You know who Ryan Garcia is?
No.
He's like one of the best middleweight boxers in the world. He's 20-something years old, and he fought Gervonta Davis and lost by a split decision, I believe. I may be wrong. But he was on a Instagram Spaces talking to Andrew Tate. Do you know what Bohemian Grove is?
Yeah.
Okay. Know what that one is. So he claims that he was a part of Bohemian Grove, and he was molested when he was 2 years old, and that he was forced to watch kids get molested and raped, and all these things are going to happen. And he's speaking about it quite vividly and openly to Andrew Tate on his platform on X, screaming about it from the hilltop. Sounds like he's got something going on or threats were made. Maybe he's under the influence. I don't know. But then the next thing that pops up when I swipe up, I'm like, that's bullshit. Just some kid's probably angry, he didn't get a title fight, etc. He lost some money. Mm-hmm. Seems like his relevancy went from here to here when he lost. And so he even made claims that he could get Andrew out of his position. He's like, oh, you call me. I know people in Romania. I'll get you out of it. I don't fucking think so. If Andrew Tate can't get out of it with Tucker Carlson and all these people, Ben David, nobody's getting him out of it. Mm-hmm. He's got problems. So then the next thing was this company clothing. What was it called?
Yeah.
Cancel this clothing company who has 1.35 million followers on TikTok popped up talking about Michael Jackson and the P. Diddy case. I was like, oh, that's interesting. The first thing I saw was they don't really care about us uncensored lyrics. And so in his song in 1994, 1996, he uses some very vulgar terms against Jewish people. And I had never heard that. I've heard that song a million times, and I never heard the uncensored version. Turns out it's banned everywhere on YouTube. The original is gone. The only way you can find it is where free speech still reigns, X. Unfortunately, I'm going to say that because they didn't take it down because it's part of history, and where you go to find history is not really Google anymore. You can't find true things. Mm-hmm. If they dislike it, they remove it. So I was like, oh, well, shit, that really makes sense. And it really says that. You can blank me, you can sue me. What rhymes with sue? Put it in your own tongue. You can kick me, you can blank me. And if you take C out of kick, add an E, it's just a vulgar term for Jewish people. Well, then it goes from there to, in terms of his battle with Tommy Mottola in Sony Records and how he fought for his licensing, mm-hmm. and how he found out he had robbed him of millions of dollars and funneled it through the Caribbean. He was robbed of hundreds of millions of dollars, 200 and something million before he found out. So then fast forward a few years, allegations come out against Michael Jackson.
Right.
We all know the allegations. It's like Mike. Macaulay Culkin went to bat for him, But we even watched some of the interviews on him laughing and this is just preposterous. His statements at the Grammys, his statements with Al Sharpton, all kinds of drama came from that. And what it looks like in the timeline from if you see the claims now in the lawsuit with P. Diddy is that the head of security was there for Michael Jackson's death, the one that is involved in drugging and molesting and raping people in the P. Diddy case, was affiliated with possibly drugging and killing Michael Jackson. I'm just going to put that out there. It's compelling evidence that there's a connection. And it's all over the estate of Michael Jackson and his publishing, record rights, music rights. It's a valuation of probably $2 billion to fucking $5 billion. Numbers are there. But I'm going to play the video. Hopefully this guy doesn't get real pissed off that I'm playing his video, but we'll see.
We just got the Jeffrey Epstein of the music and entertainment industry. The new lawsuit that just dropped against Diddy is massive, and it has photos, it has videos, it names names, and there's so much here that it's never going to fit into a single video. So I'm going to do a quick overview in this video, and then I'm going to do a couple of parts breaking down all the different aspects of what's come out so far. We're talking crime scenes, we're talking photo evidence of celebrities like Cuba Gooding Jr., we're talking record label executives, we're talking hidden cameras in every room of the house, getting recordings of celebrities, executives, politicians at parties with celebrities and underage girls, with drinks being spiked, with drugs. This goes all the way back to the murder of Tupac and Biggie. We're talking about the entire rap and hip hop industry and the whole music industry at large. But to be clear, this is just opinions and speculation. These are not statements of fact. When I show sources in the background, like the court case, you should take those for just what they are. I'm not saying that all of this is necessarily real. So what's happened just now is that this man, Rodney Jones, who is a music producer that worked with Sean Combs, who is Diddy, he just filed this lawsuit. And he didn't just file it against Diddy. He filed against the executives at all of the companies associated and against the companies like Universal Music Group. His lawyers claim that he has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Diddy and his staff and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. It's illegal for lawyers to make these claims if they don't have reasonable belief that this evidence is legitimate and exists. They could get disbarred for making these claims if they're not true. And some of that evidence is present in this lawsuit, like when Diddy allegedly shot a man. And then the LAPD saw that room in the photo, the bathroom with all that blood, and were on the scene for hours and no arrests were made. They went with the explanation that Diddy told his staff to give, which was it was a drive-by shooting. Diddy made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. This guy. And all of Diddy's staff were instructed to contact Mr. Muhammad if they were ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Diddy often bragged about having law enforcement under control. Although the deeper you look, the more it looks like people above him and above law enforcement had him under control. We'll go more into these cases in the detailed videos, but now the bigger picture. See, Diddy has been one of the most powerful people in the rap industry ever since the 90s when he founded Bad Boy Records. And he was only 24 when he founded it. He started his career as a non-paid intern at A&R until he was then fired in 1993 when he was 24 and founded his own label, Bad Boy Records, later that year. So how does a 24-year-old found a massive record label on his own? Well, when you dig further, you realize it wasn't on his own. It was with the help of Clive Davis, his mentor. And the further into it all you dig, you realize that Clive Davis came out as gay later on, and there's a lot of rumors that him and Diddy were in a relationship throughout this time. This is going to come up over and over and over, just by chance. Clive Davis has been running significant portions of the music industry since our parents were kids listening to music. Responsible for artists like Aretha Franklin, Alicia Keys, The Grateful Dead, then later Usher, Outkast, Pink. But back in the 60s and 70s, like James...
I'm just saying, I had a problem with how Usher was portraying himself on the Super Bowl. Just going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Joplin, Santana, Aerosmith, Pink Floyd, like, come on, read it. Jones specifically claims that they were trying to groom him to do gay stuff, which has long been the talk of the town in the rap industry by people that aren't with it. Diddy allegedly showed him a tape from a secret recording that he just happened to have of Jones's idol having gay sex with some white guy. And then Diddy apparently told Jones that he had engaged in gay sex with this redacted rapper and that redacted rapper and his idol, Stevie J. And apparently he also promised to make sure that Jones would win Producer of the Year at the Grammys if he did gay stuff on camera. Although, to be clear, he wasn't explicitly saying on camera, but Mr. Jones discovered that Diddy had hidden cameras in every room of his home. I'm going to guess that Diddy didn't learn how to wire a whole house with cameras on his own. Kanye has accused Diddy of being a Fed many times. Diddy's also been accused of ordering the hit on Tupac many times. And when Diddy was asked about this on a podcast, this was his response.
We as a journalist aspect.
When you start digging into allegations of the CIA, the FBI, the Mossad having tentacles in the music industry, you wind up at total rumors like this. Former CIA agent admits agency created gangster rap to fill private prisons by glamorizing criminality. Claims like famous hip-hop lyrics of the legendary hip-hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists inside the CIA, according to this former agent. Obviously, these are just totally rumors and conspiracy theories, no truth to this whatsoever. But it leads you to people like Leor Cohen, who might be the most influential person in the last 100 years of music, because he ran Def Jam and made Jay-Z who he is, including Redman, Method Man, DMX, Ja Rule, Ludacris. But it doesn't stop with rap music. We got Bon Jovi, Mariah Carey, Shania Twain, Elvis Costello, Ashanti, Nickelback, Slipknot, Sum 41, The Killers, Slayer. But then we've also got his protege, Julie Greenwald, that got elevated through this merger that he brokered and managed the Black Keys, Bruno Mars, Death Cab for Cutie, Jason Mraz, Kid Rock, Lupe Fiasco, Wiz Khalifa. That would be this Julie Greenwald. And then we've got Lucian Grange, the CEO of Universal Music Group. He's the one that is directly implicated and named in this lawsuit. It is alleged that he attended these parties with underage girls and with sex workers, and he knew that they were spiking drinks, et cetera, et cetera. But when you're talking about Diddy, you got to also talk about Justin Bieber, who was managed by Scooter Braun, along with Kanye West, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, etc. Scooter Braun is a really big player in the modern music industry. We also got Psy, Carly Rae Morris, Martin Garrix, Kanye West, Black Eyed Peas, David Guetta, Lil Dicky. So you might not remember, but back in the 90s, Tupac and Biggie were both coming up, and they were both talking about leaving their records that we've shown the people involved in those records already and starting their own. And Tupac was starting to speak out a little bit maybe about the nature of the industry. Diddy was close in the middle of that, and there's a lot of rumors that he ordered the hit on Tupac. Diddy sort of rose to power on the power vacuum of Tupac and Biggie both leaving the scene. And he has been manipulating and running a huge portion of the industry from the inside ever since. And this court case directly alleges with lots of evidence that he has been running a sexual blackmail scheme that entire time, promoting artists that would engage in the sexual blackmail scheme and then do their bidding there, because there's not just him acting alone, and pushing out.
Like how true that can, or like.
Well, we know it's a possibility. We're not saying that it's for real. This is all speculation, accumulation of data across multiple site sources as he's bringing. But Wikipedia, lawsuits, etc.
The fact that, like you said, the word I was looking for is possibility of that being.
It's a probability. Because if Jeffrey Epstein got away with it for so long.
Who says somebody else can't?
Who's saying Diddy wasn't you could say Diddy and his whole thing he picked up from Clive Owens and Jeffrey Epstein. What if Clive Owens was on the list?
That was Clive Davis.
Huh?
Clive Davis?
Clive Davis, sorry. What if he was on the list of Epstein's clients? And then he learned about the blackmail and was like, I could do that to rich white people too. So do it to my brothers. Do it to my people. Keep them in line.
Right.
For decades.
Ostracizing, blacklisting, attacking artists that wouldn't. So maybe you should go back and listen to some of Kanye's interviews and see if he sounds quite so crazy after all. You just got the Jeffrey. Did you know that you just got the Jeffrey Epstein? In order to understand this lawsuit against P. Diddy, you need to understand the history of sexual blackmail. A lot of people in the comments are misunderstanding why rap music is so anti-gay. And a lot of people understand the ties of Israel and the Mossad to sexual blackmail by Epstein. But a lot of people don't realize the ties of sexual blackmail back to the invention of sexual blackmail and the Jewish mob. So if you don't know what's going on, Diddy, one of the most influential people in the rap industry over the last 30 years.
Did he just say the Jewish mob?
He did just say the Jewish mob.
Just got served this court case that alleged all kinds of crimes, including murder and drugs and prostitution, but especially having all of his homes wired with cameras and hosting parties with underage girls, rappers, label executives, celebrities, politicians, and collecting sexual blackmail on tons of important people. Like, we're talking Jeffrey Epstein level of operation, but in the music and entertainment industries. But the thing about a court case is that we're only getting the allegations that are in that case, and they're only relevant to what that defendant saw and experienced. And so the bigger picture is not filled in directly. You have to kind of understand the history of this stuff and what each thing might imply about the bigger picture. And that requires an understanding of the history of this stuff. And it's not complicated, and it's a wild story. So, the FBI was founded by J. Edgar Hoover. He actually was the head of the Bureau of Investigation, the BOI, before the FBI was even invented back in the 20s. And he served there for 11 years. Then they invented the FBI, and he served as the head of the FBI for 37 years, totaling 48 years leading what was more or less the FBI. So we're talking like all the way from like the Great Depression through World War II into like the 60s. Like through the 60s music revolution into the 70s. All of that time period, the FBI was led by the same person, and he was one of the most corrupt government officials in all of U.S. history. And understanding the state of organized crime and of law enforcement in America is impossible if you don't know about J. Edgar Hoover. And understanding the nature of sexual blackmail is impossible if you don't know about Meyer Lansky, who was a boss in the Jewish mob back in the 30s, 20s, like the Prohibition days and so on. Meyer Lansky, this Jewish mob boss, basically invented the concept of sexual blackmail. And he did it by sexually blackmailing J. Edgar Hoover, the guy who was explicitly supposed to be taking guys like Meyer Lansky down. The Wikipedia articles are sanitized, but basically Meyer Lansky had a photo of J. Edgar Hoover using his mouth on his main assistant, Clyde Tolson. Realistically, it was his boyfriend. They were a couple. But then, once Hoover was blackmailed, he was like, fuck it, how much worse could it get? And so he started hosting blackmail parties in collusion with these mobsters and inviting all sorts of important people to these blackmail parties to collect his own blackmail. This all happened in what was called the Blue Suite at the Plaza Hotel. And it was basically a bunch of male cross-dressing orgies all caught on camera for like a decade or more. And because Hoover was already blackmailed by the most powerful gangsters in the world, like he didn't give a shit. And he just went and hosted them, and everybody got blackmail on everybody. But the critical piece to understanding the gay aspect of rap music today and
It's like,
the
fuck it.
whole situation back with Hoover,
They already got me. Might as well
Everybody's
just go.
fucking everybody. What does it matter?
or McCarthyism,
You'll fucking balls
like, we
deep
gotta
into
get rid
this,
of all the
literally.
communists. There was what was called the Lavender Scare, which is basically just saying that they were all really worried that gay people would get blackmailed by the Soviet Union. And so it wasn't good to be gay, because if you were gay, you could get blackmailed because you wouldn't want anyone to know you were gay. And so don't be.
That thought process is so crazy, though, because then they're like, I got to tone down the fucking random people thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to vet anyone. Like, but I'm going to go on this fucking spree. So it's really risky. It's weird.
Gay, and so you should be ashamed of being gay, and so then they'll blackmail. Is like, see, it's like a big circle of how the one creates the other, creates the other, creates the other. Yeah, now think about rap music. All the rappers are super hard, and like gay people suck, and then like a bunch of them are gay and they're getting blackmailed about it, and so they rap more about how they're hard and gay people suck, and it creates this little circle. Yeah, the sexual blackmail industry learned early on back in the Cold War that it is much easier to do sexual blackmail in a culture of anti-gayness, because gayness is not wildly uncommon. Lots of people are gay. But the more you can stigmatize it and make it a taboo, the more they have to hide it. And the more easy it is to exploit it when you offer this taboo thing to the people that want it. And then the stronger your power over them is when you have them on film doing it. You feel? So, back to our boy Diddy, who founded his record label when he was only 24 years old. Became one of the most successful record labels of the time. He was able to do that because he was financed and supported by his mentor, Clive Davis, who just happens to be gay and rich and Jewish, just like Meyer Lansky was. And at the time, he was one of the most influential men in the music industry. He'd managed all kinds of the biggest name artists that you've ever heard of. And he found this guy, Diddy, on the up and up in one of his companies, who we now know from this lawsuit and the other lawsuit filed by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, which is horrific, disgusting, not a good read. We know that Diddy has some real effed up sexual proclivities, as well as just generally probably being at least gay or bi, one of the two. So Clive Davis finds this guy with questionable morals, questionable sexual habits, and ready to go freaking crazy haywire, whatever. Like, he's willing to shoot people. He's willing to launder money. He's willing to do crazy drugs. He's willing to do basically anything. This is just me speculating on Clive here, on his motivations, but Clive mentored Diddy, and Clive brought him up, and Clive elevated him to a record executive by helping him found his label, Bad Boy Records. That was Clive's move. He did that. And then Diddy, along with a lot of help from a lot of other people all around him, proceeded to do 30 years worth of sexual blackmail operations within the rap industry and promoted artists that seem to have been ensnared in it, like Usher, for example, like Meek Mills. Hell, even Justin Bieber is like directly in this storyline. And so...
Weird thing about Justin Bieber, and I'll say, I just saw an interview.
I was going to say, because I remember growing up seeing like a commercial with Justin Bieber and Diddy.
Yeah, they used to be friends with him and Usher. Usher's the one that found him. Usher was under P. Diddy, but watch this.
But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
And then a few years later, Justin and Diddy had another awkward interaction in front of the camera. And this time, Justin looked completely traumatized and scared of Diddy.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my numbers.
But it's definitely...
So then he forces him to give the number. I saw the rest of that clip. This one right here.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Young brother. Okay.
5'5".
Okay, 5'5". You heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm here to because you've been a big supporter of mine. All jokes aside, this right here is my young brother right here. He's been a big supporter of mine. My album's coming out, and we got the crew going around now. You in New York City, and we got the Dirty Money crew. And we wanted to make you an official member of the Dirty Money crew.
Are you serious?
There you go.
That is
Justin Bieber.
Swag.
Is it your swag? And then you got to do the swag walk too.
Okay.
I got to show you the swag walk.
You show me the swag walk.
And Scooter, Scoot, manager, mogul extraordinaire, you too.
I just got much cooler.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Money.
Dirty money. Okay, so when we walk down the streets of New York, we hit them like this. So me and you walking, we hanging out, a little later on the night after the Usher concert,
You don't get those ladies, right?
Yeah, after that, the ladies, we in the street, Times Square, we go, swag. Swag. You see that? You see my hand right there? That's pushing the hate back. There's a lot of hate sometimes.
Right,
Swag. 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 Try it.
So this hand?
Yeah, hand. This hand. Push it back like you're pushing the wind back.
He doesn't want to be there. He wants to get out. He's like, all right, I'm going to make him happy.
You got it, son. You got it.
We're on camera.
That's right, my boy Bieber, official member of the Dirty Money crew.
All right, I'm chilling with my big bro Diddy right here. You gotta go get his album. It's Last Train to Paris. It is, it's gonna be the greatest album you've ever heard. It's got a lot of cool songs, a lot of people on it. You got
Drake on there.
Drake on there.
Lil Wayne.
Chris Brown.
I wanted to do a song with you, but you was on tour.
He was gonna do
Usher,
song.
Big Brother Usher.
Big Brother Usher. So everybody's on this album. Go get this album.
Get it.
Last Train to Paris.
Yeah, get it.
We're out.
Peace.
All right.
Diddy Dirty Money Lab.
Yeah, so that is like before the camera cuts to after the camera cuts, and he's like talking about, you see the change in the persona for Justin Bieber. He's just a fucking kid. That's sad. Something happened there.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if he was, you ain't been calling me. Where you been at? I bet this was like a promotional that he owed Diddy for something, or Scooter Braun owed Diddy, or was blackmailed into, was hypothetically. Something there to where now he owed promotion, because this is when Justin Bieber was going up like, baby, baby.
Right.
Did he always be mine?
I sent you a TikTok. Well, I sent you two, but it's a last one I sent you that has related to.
Okay, we'll do it right after this last one.
What you wind up with is a rap industry, a music industry that is full of people that are creating the types of music that the people above them, that the people that hire them, that the people that manage them want them to make. They're all terrified of stepping on the wrong toes or getting out of line or doing what they're not supposed to for one blackmail reason or the other. And we wind up with an entire industry full of musicians that are glorifying gangs and violence and sex and drugs. I mean, think about it. There's no better way to undermine an entire population, an entire race, an entire culture than to target their kids with subversive messages that they're going to think is cool. And the parents can't say shit about it because then the kids will just think it's cooler. So why would they be doing this, you ask? That's a really good question. Gonna have to wait for another video. We just got the
And
Jeffrey
the best way
in
to
order to
help doing
Did you
that
know that
is to help incorporate drugs into those communities as well via this.
That's the government's prerogative. I don't think that's the music provider or the music label's prerogative. If I was P. Diddy and I was blackmailing all these people, there's no financial gain for me to put my consumers to death. You know what I mean? The risk is 50-50 on addiction. The government, it's overpopulation, it's control.
Well, just because he was talking about like all the subversive messages, all the criminal activity it leads to, because it's like propagating
for
that.
Diddy, it's like, and so on a business side of this, the reason we're talking about this during business hours is because the financial aspect has me reeling. It's hundreds of billions of dollars in potential. So hypothetically, if I can control 30 other business owners in their businesses and they're not taking it to the next level, and I'm like, okay, well, give me ownership. I'll show you what I'm doing. Or if I can force them in some way just to give me ownership, now I got them. Say I showed them a bit of the high life and how things are run here and how I do things in my stores. And I'm like, oh, and then I get them some blackmail. I'm like, all right, now you do everything that I want to do. All right, change your name, change your look, run it how I want, revert all your online potential to my sites. If I sell something, you'll promote it. Mm-hmm. If I say something, you'll promote it. If I do anything, you'll promote it. So now my audience just went from like one loud voice to 500 mediocre voices, and that'll share better than one rock in a pond. 5 rocks in a pond makes a bigger splash. You ever heard that saying where it's like you can drop one large rock in a pond, it'll make one ripple effect. But if you drop 5, timing them, you'll make bigger waves on the other end. Mm-hmm. It's just the force of the progression. But it's crazy because he probably netted just Usher, Mariah Carey, Bad Boy Records, probably a few billion, $100 million, a few billion in revenue.
Yeah.
From this supposed blackmail.
Now, I'm gonna soft pitch you a hypothetical, a conspiracy theory hypothetical of, if the government were involved with this, of providing Puff Daddy money to continue to propagate the stigma of like, oh yeah, drugs are cool, start taking drugs, to sell those drugs that they bring to those communities to not only bring down the population and incarcerate them, but also sell more of it to make more money and give him a cut.
Well, see, I don't know how the government would clean that money, though. Because say the government brought in the drugs, they could sell it, but where are they going to take that money? They can't take it to the bank. You can't just say the government found $300 million worth of cocaine profits. Where would it go? Funding overseas activity, maybe? But if say the government or the CIA really brought drugs in to lower not only the population and the, say, minority areas, how does that increase the tax revenue? Because the only money the government technically makes is tax revenue. They want more people working, more people spending money. So how do they put more money into the average person's hand without giving them a handout from their coffers?
What about them giving it to the labels in order to...
It's a possibility, but it'd be real hard because say I'm the government and I give you $1. I need you to spend this dollar as many times and earn it as you can, because every time you spend it, I make 10 cents. And every time you transact somewhere and earn it or spend it, I make 10 cents. And I've only given it to you once. Now I've made probably $10 off of it in the first 3 weeks. That's how their tax works, loosely, but they're constantly making a revenue. Now the majority of people that kind of fudge their taxes, do their rights, they'll make an average. But it all started from them printing this money and then giving it to people or trading it for goods and services, gold that they hold, whatever. But, the fictitious bullshit about money anyway is that nobody really gives a shit what is backed by. They just want goods in exchange for the cash because that's what we're programmed. And the government's no different. They want something in exchange for that cash, whether it's your tax revenues or that future earnings. They just need to see the numbers going in and out so that they can get what they want, because it's all tangible items to the government. They're like, all right, we need to make 100 new missiles. They don't buy them. They're like, okay, well, we need materials from here, X, Y, Z. We'll take this tax revenue and use that budget that's just numbers on a sheet and say, okay, well, we used that, we gave it to them, they're just going to transact it so many times and we'll get the tax revenue from it. Endless money for the government. What it's like to be on top.
The head of Diddy's security, while he was sexually blackmailing the entire rap industry, was also the exact same guy that was the head of Michael Jackson's security when he died. This is no joke. Some smart people in the comments section pointed this out to me. This is from Diddy's lawsuit. This is his head of security, Fahim Muhammad. And Mr. Combs, P. Diddy, made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. Diddy instructed his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad if they were ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. The LAPD was at this crime scene where Diddy had shot a person for hours and no arrests ever happened. It all went away. And it says here, quote, "This was all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections with law enforcement." These are just allegations made in the case, but they say they have substantial evidence, and they provide some of that evidence in photo form in this lawsuit. In addition, because he was the head of Diddy's security, he would have been privy to the fact that there were sex workers and underage girls at all of these parties, and that they were spiking bottles of liquor and champagne and mixed drinks with various drugs. Rodney Jones, who's bringing this whole court case, alleges that after he was forced to drink the laced liquor, he felt lightheaded and then recalls passing out and waking up at 4 a.m. the following morning naked with a sex worker sleeping next to him. There's another time where he passed out and Diddy was in the bed too. All that just to say that the head of security is aware of these things. That's their job. He would also be aware of all the different drugs that they're doing and lacing with things. Apparently, all of the employees that were around Diddy were, from the butler to the chef to the housekeepers, were all required to walk around with a pouch or fanny pack filled with all these different drugs so that Diddy had immediate access to whatever drugs he wanted everywhere he went. That's directly in the lawsuit. The head of security knows about that stuff. But then, when you start looking up Fahim Muhammad, you quickly realize that yes, he was the head of security for Michael Jackson. This is a picture from him testifying in court about Michael Jackson's death. And when you listen to that testimony, you discover that he was the second person on the scene. He says that when he entered the room, the doctor was there, apparently trying to give CPR to what looked like a dead Michael Jackson. And then Jackson's two kids arrived in the door and were sobbing and crying. But when you look deeper, it gets even weirder. This is his bio from his investment management company called Oasis. It's a real estate investment company, where it says that he founded Elite Transportation and Security Services, and then he grew that company into a multi-million-dollar business, which currently has several exclusive security contracts with A-list clients like Diddy. But when you look up Elite Transportation and Security Services LLC, you get a really different picture. It was founded in 2016, apparently has 5 official employees, and is estimated to make $248,000 a year in revenue. Multi-million-dollar business? Multiple exclusive contracts? Then in 2019, he co-founded Oasis, where this bio is from, which is his real estate investment company, and they turned a $40,000 investment into a $10 million real estate portfolio. In how many years? And then the last article that comes up, there's a lot of articles about this one, is that he made news when he gave his 13-year-old son 40 acres of land for his birthday. And that 40 acres of land just so happens to be directly on the U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego County. This reporter for CBS 8 said they went and visited him there, and there were boulders, trees, and the U.S.-Mexico border wall. Maybe just a weird coincidence? But by the way, he has way more than just the acres he gave to his son. He has like 191 acres on that plot or something like that, and he gave a portion of it to his son. And it just so happens to be within stone's throw distance of Tijuana. And now the 2 last ones are the best ones. I shit you not, I was looking up Fahim, and where did I find another article about him? on Penn State, the Wharton School. He didn't attend it as a student. He was invited as a speaker for this Wharton real estate entrepreneurship event, which makes perfect sense. He has a real estate investment company or whatever, but if you've been following along, you would know that the Wharton School comes up an awful lot when we're talking about intelligence agencies and people associated with the CIA and the FBI, etc. Just thought it was interesting that they invited him to be a honored speaker at their event. And now, here's the best part. Check this out. This is in all of his bios, by the way, but we're pointing it out now. In 2008, Fahim graduated from Sacramento State University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration with a concentration in real estate and marketing. Okay? Do you realize what's wrong with that yet? Anything coming to mind? When did Michael Jackson die? June 25th, 2009. Jackson died from cardiac arrest caused by a propofol and benzodiazepine overdose caused by his doctor, apparently. Hold up. Hold the phone. Pause. Why is a dude who just graduated college last year with a business and real estate degree the head of security for the king of pop, for Michael Jackson, the most famous musician of all time? What's going on? Don't you think that's a little weird? Not to mention what we know about his actual skill set now, given this lawsuit. I'm sure he didn't learn that in real estate business school. So anyways, just one little side tangent on this whole crazy story about Diddy. If you haven't been following along, we're discovering that Diddy is like the Jeffrey Epstein of the rap industry.
Blackmailing.
Huh?
I don't think they teach sexual blackmailing.
When I was in business school, I learned how to deal and do drugs. So drugs were definitely healed. Business administration and entrepreneurship. And I learned very quickly that drugs are a part of business. There's a lot of people that go to business school that are either trying to be in pharmacy, business, healthcare, etc., and all of them put up hypotheticals of how to deal in drugs and narcotics. Almost all of them. There's some thesis, some project. And I was like, oh, I'll try it. It worked. Yeah. It was dumb. But eventually, you get hooked on your own supply, or you die, or you get busted. I got hooked on my own supply. Opiates.
And he's been doing secret filming of sexual blackmail activities at crazy parties where he's drugging his guests and bringing in underage girls. He's been doing that for like 30 years.
Shout out to Sacramento.
In the whole rap industry. I'm cooking on some bigger picture stuff, but I just thought that this tangent was crazy once I put. Did you? The petroleum industry? They've been trying to keep this guy from testifying. This year they're going to pop. You would not believe. After we discovered that Target has entire shelves of shampoo that are all owned by the same mega corporations, I decided to go. You would not. This year they're going to. They've been trying to keep this guy from. After we discovered.
He's been got.
What do you mean? It just said a day ago or 23 hours ago.
Okay, it says 113.
This year they've been trying to keep this guy from testifying for years. And oh boy.
Thought he was done murdered?
I thought for a second, I was like, what?
Or died under suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I'm going to show you a movie scene from a movie that I saw a couple days ago that's amazing. Under the Silver Lake. It's great. I'm just going to show the scene.
Before we get to that, you said this is attached to this in some way?
The idea of it is...
Okay. Scene that got me to see the movie. I need more people to see this movie.
Earth Angel. She was killed. Oh, won't you be mine?
Along with Jefferson Sevens, but I think you already knew that. Yeah.
No, I did not. I don't care what's fashionable or cool. It's all silly and it's all meaningless. I created so many of the things that you care about. The songs that give your life purpose and joy. When you were 15 and rebelling, you were rebelling to my music. Uh-oh. That's one you know. That song was not written on distorted guitar. No. I wrote it here on piano somewhere between a blowjob and an omelet. There is no rebellion. There's only me earning a paycheck.
I don't believe you.
Well, good. Because the real message was not meant for you. So it's better if you just smile and you dance and you enjoy the melody. Because this ugly old man, me, I am the voice of your generation. Your grandparents, your parents, and all the young people that follow you. I love rock and roll. Drop another dime in the jukebox, baby. Oh, look at you. Everything that you hoped for, that you dreamed about being a part of, is a fabrication. Your art, your writing, your culture is the shell of other men's ambitions, ambitions beyond what you will ever understand.
That's funny to you?
Well, it's a little bit funny, don't you think? Because I wrote this, and I wrote this, and I wrote this.
Stop it.
And I wrote this too.
Stop it! Who's paying you to write these songs?
I can't remember who it was, how he made that money.
Under the Silver Lake. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I can't remember what this outcome was. I know I've seen that movie.
Under the Silver Lake?
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield ends up killing that guy.
Well, I remember that. I don't, what the whole purpose, what did he go there for?
For information on the girl that he was into and how she like disappeared.
And he's the reason she's under he killed her.
No, he's like one of the reasons why he goes there to investigate, and he finds out because like all the conspiracy theory of like, why did she disappear? Because she ended up like being an actress, and then that ended up like her doing like adult films, and then ended up her like turning into a prostitute, and then like the ending of the movie, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, she's now in a bunker with a senator who faked his death, and is with a bunch of other women, and they have like a limited supply of food and like drinks, and it's all like supposed to be like this ticket to paradise where they
safe from the coming apocalypse.
Yeah, and they're like stuck under there, like it's completely like shut. There's no way to get her out or whatever.
Oh shit!
And like the whole thing is, they trick those women into doing that by like being like, oh yeah, like you're so beautiful, you should be in acting, like you should be an actress. And there's like, oh, like you're really beautiful, and like we loved you in the movies and like being an actress, but we see that you're struggling, and you know we know of a way to make a little bit extra money, and you know adult films. And there's like, well, it's like you're so good and this person loves you in that adult film you were in. It's like, why don't you come over to their house? And it just
cycles from there. I think that'd be a lot of convincing compared to drugging a man, having somebody rape them, and then getting videotape of it. And now you have the leverage you need. Hey, come party is better than like, well, you know, you could change your life. Let me get you to do this. Let me think about it. Give me like 3 days. And then you're like, okay, now my plan is 3 days. Instead, yo, party over here, P. Diddy's house. All right, everybody's passed out. Jamal, Andrew, Jackson, boom, boom, boom. You this room, you that room. Grab those pants, do this, boom, pink stuff. 4 a.m., everybody wakes up. We got the video footage, everybody. Dancing like P. Diddy.
To be fair, I'm not doing it enough justice. It's It's pretty nuanced. But yeah, I can definitely understand where it's like, oh yeah, it'll be way quicker. It's like, yeah, let's come party.
Straight to the point, P. Diddy.
You know.
Hi, I'm Dale, and I work for Monsters, Inc. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dale, you don't look like a monster. How are you gonna scare anyone? Well, you are right in that observation. Physically, I do not look like a monster, but that doesn't stop me from getting a little bit more creative. Your parents are gonna die someday. I saw your dad downstairs. He looks like he's got a drinking problem. Hey, what if you woke up tomorrow and you were just blind? I heard you got a B at school. Your parents are probably gonna get divorced. Did you know that the sun is gonna explode one day? You know how you want to be a fairy princess when you grow up? Yeah, you're probably just going to be an accountant. The tension with Russia's pretty high right now. Hey, have you noticed that weird lump on your dog? She's probably going to get put down soon. Humanity's reign on the Earth is just a blip on the timeline of the universe. You ever think about that? I read your diary and saw that you have a crush on Tyson. I visited him last week, but he has a crush on Kirsten. Sorry to break it to you. And there it is. Thank you. I'll see you next week. Hi, I'm Dale, and I work for Monsters, Inc.
Fucking
torture. Oh my gosh, he's still on this thing? He's been on there for hours.
Jim, I'll get that report to you by Monday.
What game is he playing?
Well, honey, boss told me if I keep it up, they might promote me to manager.
Seems like he's just living the life of a regular 45-year-old man.
That's my son. He's Captain Von Trapp.
What, is he fucking watching his son's play right now?
Sorry, I'll be quiet. Proud dad.
I don't think he realizes he's in VR anymore.
Honey, guess who got promoted? Whose boxers are these?
Hold on.
They can't be mine. There's no shit stains. Oh, come on, not this bullshit we haven't made love in 6 months. I haven't had time because I've been working on my memoir.
6 months? You got the game yesterday.
You want to throw things down? I can throw things too.
Oh, shit.
Honey? Honey? Hey.
Oh my God, he just killed his wife.
Oh, fuck. Mason, you saw that?
Oh, son.
Come here, buddy.
Not the boy.
Everything's going to be okay.
Mason's only 12. How could you kill him? He's really unloading on his son.
I'm so sorry.
Is he sawing his wife in half?
Everything's gonna be alright. Oh
no, he's getting pulled over.
Officer, let me just get my license and registration to fuck down. Don't fuck off, God! Your Honor, how do I plead? Smoke bomb.
That was his plan? Oh God, he's in prison now.
Shower. What are you guys doing? Okay. Oh,
Brick, get out of there! Get him out of there!
Oh no! They're making me dance.
We gotta save him. Brett, take off the goggles!
Goggles? You guys are the one wearing goggles. Now dance.
Oh my God. I didn't see that coming. Oh my God. This shit people do nowadays, could you imagine? Oh my God. That blew my fucking mind.
We're so excited to announce California's new $20 minimum wage for fast food restaurants.
Quick question. Why is there a very specific exemption for fast food chains that have bakeries?
We just felt like that's fair.
And that would apply to Panera Bread, correct?
I guess it would.
Well, one of Gavin Newsom's longtime donors, Glenn Flynn, owns 24 Panera Bread locations in California and has been a very outspoken critic of the $20 minimum wage. That wouldn't have anything to do with this, would it?
How dare you?
Is that sandwich from Panera?
No comment. We're so excited to announce
That's probably true.
This was back when he asked me some details on some of the stuff that was going on in California. So it's all been dated.
Atmospheric river. Yeah, it rained a lot. Tough shit. It rains a lot everywhere. Drowned California. I got family there. Wish you all the best. Get a kayak. Business has been slow. I'm fucking loving it.
Yeah?
Yeah. We still make like $500-600 a day, which is good for a repair shop. It's $15,000 probably a month.
That's not bad.
With overhead of 15-20%. But man, it pays his wages. I get to leave next week to California, which I'm leaving on a trip to California next Saturday, and then I'll be gone till the following Sunday. No, I'll leave Friday. I leave Friday the 15th, and I come back on Monday the 25th. So I'll be here the Monday the 25th because I'll probably drive back. I'll be driving out Friday night, then come here Sunday. So, yeah, that'll be a good road trip. Good content.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just a visit?
Just a visit for my daughter and her biological father.
Nice.
He's getting his shit together, man, which I'm surprised.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming because I've been dealing with this for almost 6 years now, trying to get them on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing harder than being a dad and a small business owner to a person that has another dad that you have to deal with. Because they throw more curveballs at you when you're like, all right, I got X, Y, and Z I got to do today. It's very important. And your kids are like, yeah, don't worry. Everything's going to be great. Good luck, Dad. Boom. And then some drama comes out, whether it's like in-laws, baby daddy drama, whatever. But somebody always throws some shit in. That's what makes it difficult. If it was just my household I was dealing with, life would have been great from the start. But now it's to the point where he's, engaging. So we know his info. He knows our info, what's going on. Like we randomly got a fucking child support payment for like $290. Haven't gotten one in years. Turns out he got a tax refund. They took it all, but didn't give it all to us. I don't know why. I want that money. I think we got like 15%, which is funny as shit. Somebody brought me a gift today of some sort for the podcast.
Oh, yes. I brought something to share.
Oh, to share. Okay.
And I thought you might be interested.
What is this box? I'm so curious.
Well, I'm sure I've explained to you that,
What's in the box, Alex?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Yeah, he'll play that right after.
Oh, okay. I don't have to do it.
No, you don't have to do it.
My bad. I can't help myself. I'm pretty sure you asked me one time, like, what do I like to do? And one of the things that I've done, which I haven't done in a while, was, like, smoke. I smoke tobacco.
Yeah, you ordered cigars.
No, I did not order cigars. I probably should have ordered some cigars.
I had a totally different expectation 15 seconds ago.
I ordered the next best thing, which is pipe tobacco.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I like to smoke pipe tobacco. It smells, it's better. I mean, to me, it's better than...
That's like loose rolling bugaloo.
The smell of this versus a cigar is way better.
Cherry Bomb, vanilla, cherry, and black Cavendish. Flavors by Cow. 1.76 ounces, 50 grams. Premium pipe tobacco. Oh, there's no fucking way. I think this has been pushed in here, so I think you actually have to pop this off. It's not a twist. Like it's been creased. So... See? Ha! It's not a twist. It's got a pinch here. That's why it's got to be popped off.
That one, I like that one. It's a darker blend.
Oh, wow. What's this? What's the cap say?
This is a nightcap.
This is called Peterson's Nightcap. Peterson of Dublin. A rich flavored smoking mixture for the evening with its period of relaxation and leisure. Pipe tobacco. Original recipe is repeated 7 times in the top here. My grandfather used to smoke pipe tobacco like this, and he always said that you will never get the flavor with your nose. I don't understand that because you crack this open like this and you can really smell it. The vanilla is very intense. The cherry is not, though.
This is one of my favorites. I smoked.
What's the name of this one?
Yeah.
This is called Moon Trance Exotic Fruit and Bourbon Vanilla. I like bourbon. I like vanilla.
Jip brand new.
I was going to say, I was like, this doesn't look like it's been smoked.
No, I just got it.
Yeah. This is your fancy pipe that you just bought.
Yeah.
I was like, you put your mouth on it a few times, but...
Oh, yeah. I had to test it out. I had to break it out.
So where'd you buy the pipe from?
I forget the name of the place, but it's like... I'll have to look it up.
Is there a place in town that has pipes?
No. The first pipe I got, which I was really bummed out, I had gotten a pipe from Oklahoma City at the Tobacco Exchange, and I was looking for it for the longest time.
Push it on until it snaps.
Oh, I think it's good.
Now it's opening. Once you get it past that pinch.
Well, I think you pop it off, and then you can do the
twist afterwards, yeah. Because once it's pinched on there, that pinch stops that seal. It's like pressure against it. That's why you couldn't twist.
But I got the my first pipe at the Tobacco Exchange in Oklahoma City, and then I recently found it, and then it was like looked like it was like corroding, and but it's been like I don't know. It was weird. I had to throw it away because it was like there's no way I can fix
So
it.
why pipe tobacco?
I just like the smell of pipe. It
smells nice. I've recently gotten back on cigarettes, which is horrible. I know. I'm trying to get back on I bought a bunch of these just to keep them in my presence. I'd rather vape than smoke cigarettes, but I've been outdoors a lot lately doing my woodworking and whatnot, and then it's just cigarettes are more convenient when you're like quick go.
Yeah. Well, when you're woodworking, look like a fancy man and smoke with pipe.
I could. He's trying to mold me into his image.
I mean, you
smoke pipes like me.
After you telling me that your wife said you're making me into a mini you.
Yeah. Well,
I figured I gotta.
They say 5 people you hang around with, a culmination. I'm turning into somewhat of you because I hang out with you quite often.
Autistic, scared of talking to women. Yeah. Just getting the good parts.
Well, and now I have a middleman, as I told you about, called Aria, to talk to women. That's for another podcast, if my wife allows me. If anybody knows what Aria is, it's an interesting thing that texts me twice a week. It's like an AI-generated chatbot, but they swear there's underwriters on the back end. It's a fun time.
But,
oh, so, we didn't even finish the conversation about Michael Jackson and, like, the connection there. We just talked about the Diddy in his video. The thing that blew me away is that 3 days after the day before his death, there was a will that was written, supposedly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so when Michael Jackson died, and the security guy was in the room or whatever, he testified it after the point, but then the will came into contention. And because the will came into contention, it was under scrutiny. 3 witnesses claimed they were in Los Angeles when it was signed, and later recanted that testimony because it turns out Michael Jackson was in New York that day it was signed, so he couldn't have physically signed it. And lo and behold, a certain person came to power in the will.
Who? Who was the person, Chris?
The estate holder. Let me get the exact name for you so I don't mess this up. John Branca, an attorney, and John McClain, the accountant. Estates rights. They delegated to the Jackson family. Mm-hmm. And they had apparently nothing to do with it until after his death. That's what's crazy. Well, I can't say that on the podcast, but this very wealthy attorney, it's crazy. Because there's benefactors in his family. They definitely, make the most. Michael Jackson had purchased the Beatles catalog in 1985, which included the rights to many of their iconic songs, and sold in 2016 for $750 million. Damn. Didn't know they owned the Beatles.
I didn't know that either.
Michael Jackson. He's smarter than everyone. But yeah, those conspiracy theories just got me going to where there's a direct connection, and maybe Diddy had something to do with Michael Jackson's death.
Right.
The crazy thing about smoking pipe tobacco is the conditions you can get with your gums and your lungs. So have you noticed anything? You smoke it often?
You don't inhale pipe tobacco.
You still gets in your lungs. It still gets into your bloodstream through your gums.
Yeah, but not as bad. I mean, you could say the same thing about chewing tobacco.
Well, chewing tobacco has a lot more acidic carcinogens and things that get directly up to your teeth. Mm-hmm. It sits on there. I know I chewed tobacco in high school. Very bad. At one point, my gums could flap over, and you could see the bone. Because I chewed so much every single day, long cut, that it just inflamed my gums. And it healed up real well. But I had to stop. The long cut skull was like, oh yeah, give me some wintergreen skull. In Sacramento. I was country then and I didn't know it. I was an emo kid chewing tobacco, had a can in my back pocket, a little ring around it that everyone jokes about now, and I was like, yeah, size 13 female pants with a little ring around it.
See, it was just waiting for you to get here to Northwest Oklahoma, and that's why you should never leave.
I'm having a micro seizure. Winter's coming.
I mean, I don't smoke this every day. I smoke it every now and then.
So why would you buy so much?
Just for variety.
How much did this cost?
$30.
So $10 a can, plus the pipe and the cleaner. Scandinavian Tobacco Group. Janet, Jermaine, Rebby, Tito, and Randy fired off an angry letter to John Branca and John McLean, 2 men overseeing the late King Pop's estate, accusing them of fraud when it comes to their brother's will, saying, without question, it's fake, flawed, and fraudulent. Has to stop now, no more. Michael Jackson's brothers and sisters wrote in a letter obtained by E! News, your heartless pursuit of wealth, fame, and power is at the expense of our family, whose deepest desire is to give the world a gift of hope, love, and unity through our music. However, a statement sent to E! News from the estate spokesman Jim Bates dismisses such a claim. Any doubts about the validity of Michael's will and his selection of executors, who thoroughly and completely debunked 2 years ago when its challenge was rejected by Los Angeles County Superior Court in California Court of Appeals, and finally the California Supreme Court reads the statement, which reads that only family members named in the will were Michael's mother and his 3 children. We are saddened the false defamatory accusations grounded in the state inherent conspiracy theories now being made to certain members of Michael's family, whom he have chose to leave out of his will and statement adds. We are especially disheartened that they come at a time when remarkable progress has been made to secure the financial future of his children by turning around the estate's finances, as well as during a time of so many Michael's fans, old and new, enjoying his artistry through exciting projects. E! has reached out to the siblings who signed a letter, but yet to hear back from them. Michael's daughter, Paris Jackson, tweeted this afternoon, I will defend my beloved family member with all I have, even if it means for my own other family members. And at this point, I don't care what people call me or if they think I'm a bad person. It means I'm sticking up for my grandmother. I will do it. Santa Barbara father and son courthouse during his trial of child molestation charges. And then Zac Efron. Dude, he had his jaw redone. Did you see that?
I saw an interview. It happened because like he broke his jaw.
But he said, yeah, but watch. Going from that to that is impossible. From that to that, doubly impossible. You can't, because you can't redo the structure of your jaw like that. See, he broke his jaw years before starring in Iron Claw. And he's recovering, but years? I think he was replaced.
You think he was replaced?
That's what everyone says. Because he even that movie, what's that fucking movie where he went and got beers with his friends? My phone's dead. Look up Beer Run. He doesn't look nothing like this. It was his last movie before Iron Claw. Because look at how small his jaw is here. He's got a chin, but like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I mean, I noticed how he looked like, because his jaw thing in Iron Claw was
dude,
so
did you watch Iron Claw?
Not yet.
Dude, I saw the clips of it and I was about to rent it. I just don't want to show my kids that movie. But dude, why is there so many ads on this fucking website, New York Post? Jesus.
Well, I saw them do an interview with the last brother that was alive.
2013 After Effects. After Effects of 2013. 10, they say a chin implant. It's more than likely a chin implant. There's no way.
It reminds me of what my mom said about Mickey Rourke and all the stuff he had done to his face and how he doesn't look
He doesn't look the same at all.
No.
He's still sexy though. Just saying. He's like that wandering gypsy you just want to touch. Mickey Rourke, Whiplash. God. I would love to look like that when I'm 60. You know what I mean?
Like Mickey Rourke?
Yeah. Beaten down, the world's on him. He's been through it all. That man would eat a fucking grenade and it couldn't touch him. He looks destroyed. But he don't give a shit. It's Mickey Rourke.
I don't want to look like every old anime man character where
with a hump?
No, like
panties.
Where it looks like he's just like a little.
Oh, you're talking about
man.
What do they call that? When they're hidden power. What the fuck is the name? There's a name in Japanese. Hidden strengths. Kenji? Yeah, you're Kenji or whatever. It's something like that. Yeah, it's something Kenji, I think.
Or like when I'm 90 years old, I may appear to look old and decrepit, but like I take off my shirt, I'm like ripped and have like an 8-pack.
Like the guy from One Punch Man, the old. Let me snap my finger and break both the. He's like takes his shirt off and he's like shredded, but he's like I'm 112.
Yeah. Or the guy off of Dragon Ball Z that taught Goku and Krillin
forever for like 30 episodes.
Yeah. Just like it took him like
Never-ending.
50 episodes to do the Spirit Bomb.
I think it was 57. Yeah,
Oh,
it's so long.
My bad.
The
57.
biggest problem with that fucking show is how long everything took. If you like anime, if you like conspiracy theories, if you think Michael Jackson was offed for his publishing rights by Diddy and all his team, you let us know in the comments below. I think it's very interesting because it's hundreds of millions of dollars, if not a few $1 billion worth of revenue at the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. P. Diddy's going down, or Pity, you know. Pity or Pity.
Puff Daddy.
Sean Combs, Mr. Pity. Yeah, he's going down. He's got to go down.
Should be.
This is like that. Who was the guy who tortured people and put them in their basement and pissed on them? Rapper.
R. Kelly?
It's one of those moments, except it's more in the open now. P. Diddy needs to get on 60 Minutes and cry to the camera.
Yeah.
I'm just a soft man.
My life out here.
Yeah, I can't be gay. No, on my music. This is so bad. And we'll see y'all later on the Doing Business Now podcast, 60 Minutes out. Gail, say goodnight. Later.
Life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past. But knowing me, my DeLorean will probably crash.